On this episode of Watercolor Problems Solved, I'll show you how to avoid the dreaded cauliflower and how to fix it when you do get one. First, let's set the scene with a little sketch of a mountain off in the distance. I'm wetting the paper first. We're going to paint this wet in wet. And usually when you paint wet in wet, that is the perfect scenario for cauliflowers to occur. So the way to avoid cauliflowers, or otherwise known as blossoms, is to avoid bringing in too much water. Since the paper is already wet, I'm using what's called a milk consistency. That's 50% water and 50% paint. Any more water than that would get us into cauliflower territory for sure. Even using a mop brush, which tends to hold more water, so far we've managed to stay out of trouble by using the milk consistency, 50% water, 50% paint. If you're having difficulty controlling water using a mop brush, one thing you may want to consider is switching to a flat brush, which tends to hold less water. One thing I definitely don't want to do is to try and go back into an area that I've already painted and try to rework an area while the paper is still wet, because that will surely get you cauliflowers. Now that I've mentioned how to avoid cauliflowers, I'm going to purposely create some cauliflowers and show you how to get rid of them. So as you can see, bringing in too much water will surely cause this interesting effect. But not to worry, paper towel to the rescue. Simply swipe from side to side until the cauliflower has disappeared. It's important to use gentle pressure here because sometimes too much pressure can cause the paper to rip. And very important, now it's time to let the paper dry completely before going back in. Now that the paper has dried, I'll go back in and add some value to the painting. To darken the mountain, I'm using a cream consistency, which is about 30% water and 70% pigment. Since the paper has dried, it's okay to go back and use some water here because the chances of getting cauliflower here have been greatly diminished. But we do risk the chance of the painting becoming kind of muddy looking if we go back in and rework it too much, so it's best to just work as quickly as possible and avoid returning to the same areas if possible. Just some finishing touches here, and that should do it for our little mini painting. If you found these tips helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, I'd love to see your comments on what you struggled with and what worked for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. If you're enjoying these tutorials and would like to help me keep making them, please consider supporting my Patreon. You'll get early access to new tutorials and behind-the-scenes studio updates. The link is right down in the description below. Thank you for watching.